Maria was 23 years old. She had been engaged to Carlos, the son of a local olive farming family, for 2 years. They had been childhood sweethearts and were due to get married in 2 days' time. A joyous event that would be attended by all the local villagers. They had been given a house and a small plot of land by Carlos's family, the house that now lies abandoned. They had begun to furnish it ready to move into on the night of their wedding and were at the property when some trivial thing had caused an argument between them. Carlos had stormed off in a temper, leaving Maria at the house. When her betrothed did not return, that night Maria went to his family's home to see if he was there. He was not, and the family had not seen him since the day before. The family and some of the villagers went out to look for Carlos. It was his younger brother who found his body in one of the farm's outbuildings. It seems that he had gone into the building in the dark, tripped up, and fell against a metal pitchfork which had pierced his heart. When Maria was told, she was inconsolable. It was said that her anguished cries could be heard as far away as the nearest town. 3 days later, everyone in the area turned up for his funeral. Maria, dressed all in black, had to be physically supported at the graveside. After the funeral, Maria went back to the house they had planned on living in together. Her dreams of their future together shattered. She stayed there on her own from that day on. She kept hens and sold their eggs to the villagers to make a little money. The villagers would go along to the house and Maria would be sitting on a chair in front of the house with a set of tarot cards in her hands. They would take the eggs they wanted and put the money in a box next to her chair. She never spoke to anyone. In fact, no one ever heard her speak again. She was occasionally seen in the village shop, still wearing her black raiment, as she would have done if she was a widow. But of course, she had never actually married Carlos, so she became known locally as a false viuva, the false widow. The years passed. Maria sat outside the house each day, looking at her tarot cards, and villagers would turn up and get their eggs. The eggs were always large, and her hens seemed to lay much more than most, and people began to whisper that perhaps Maria had cast some magical spell on them. As she grew older, she continued to wear the same black clothes. She did not cut her hair, and she began to look more and more like a witch. Local children would not go near her house. 70 years to the day that Carlos was buried, a local man went to get some of her famous eggs. He found Maria sat in her usual chair. She did not move as he approached. She did not move as he put the money for the eggs into the box. Of course, they were well used to her not speaking, but she had always nodded when they did so. This time, she did not. Her tarot cards were strewn on the floor at her feet, save one, which was clutched tightly in her hand. The death card. Maria was stone cold dead. Her body was taken away and prepared for her funeral, but try as they might, no one could remove the death tarot from her grip. So she was buried in the little churchyard, in the same grave as her love Carlos, with the death tarot still in her grasp. And so they both lie in the graveyard to this day. You can go there and see the grave. It is inscribed, Aquí jazem Carlos e Maria, agora unidas na morte. Here lies Carlos and Maria, now united in death. It was the grandchildren of Carlos's family who went to the house to clear it up, but no one would stay there long. Strange things were seen and heard. It was said that you could hear Maria's ghost quietly sobbing. They whispered that the spirit of Maria was still there. This is why the house remains empty today. No local would ever live there, and the family will not sell it for fear of her spirit's revenge. Now, together, Maria and Carlos walk in paradise.